What is up everyone, this is Somnath Gaudar from Future Coders. In this video tutorial we are going to be building this online and offline detector using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So this is going to detect if the user is connected to the internet or he is disconnected to the internet. So let's have a look at what exactly are we going to be building. As you can see, I'm actually connected to the internet, so it's actually showing online and it's going to show me the content. Okay, now watch, if I disconnect from the internet, as you can see, the content will not be displayed. It's gonna say please connect to the internet, and it's gonna update here offline in real time, guys. So again, if I connect to one of my Wi-Fi here, it's gonna take a while. Okay, as you can see, now it's again showing online and the content is being displayed over here. Now if I disconnect it again, as you can see, immediately it's gonna say please connect to the internet to view the content. So guys, this is what we are going to be building in this video. So guys, hope you guys like this. Please let me know in the comments your views on this. So before we start building this, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and also don't forget to leave a like on this video. So let's get started with the tutorial. Okay, now let's start building it. I have already generated the boilerplate of our HTML and I need to actually link our local CSS file, that's styles.css. Okay, styles.css, and now inside the body I need to link the script file, that is JavaScript file, script.js. Okay, that's it. Now let's start building this. Inside the body we are gonna have a div with the class name of user. Inside the user we are gonna have the image img. The source is going to be the avatar link which I found on the internet in the Google Images. So you can just copy this source link. Okay, right after the img we are gonna define one more div which is going to contain the user info. Inside the user info, an h3 with my name and another div to show user status, that's going to be the offline and online status. So here we are going to have an icon. Let's get that icon. We are going to use the icon from the font awesome. So let's head over there, font awesome. Actually not here, we're not gonna go to the font awesome. We need to actually go for the CDNJS. Inside the CDNJS, here I want you to search for the font awesome. Here import, let's copy this link tag and paste it over here and close this. Okay, we are gonna use an circle icon, so let's define that inside the user status. I with the class name of FAS and FA dot circle. Okay, there we have our icon, that's dot circle. Okay, over here I'm gonna define the span and it's gonna have an ID of the status. This is actually gonna show us the active or offline. Here it's gonna show if it's gonna show active or offline, so online or offline, sorry. Okay, that's it for our HTML part for now. Actually we are gonna add our content, so let's style this for now. Why is this styles comma? It should be styles or CSS, right? Okay, inside the styles of CSS we are going to use a custom font from the Google Fonts. Let's head over there, Google Fonts, and I'm gonna use the roboto mono. Okay, this one. Let's search for the 300. This one. I'm also gonna need the 500 and the 700. This one. Okay, let's copy the import code and paste it over here. Okay, let's close this. Okay, by default our browser applies some default margin and padding, so I need to get rid of those by saying margin 0, padding 0, box sizing of border box. So once we are done with that, let's actually target our body, and for the body I want set it as display of flex. Flex direction is going to be column, align items to the center. Okay, background color I think a little bit grayish, that should be E8 F6 EF. Okay, is that the color which I want? Not exact, not, this is not the color. Okay, it should be E8 F6 EF. Okay, that should be it. Okay, now let's actually set the font family which we already imported, roboto mono, and a fallback font of sans serif. Okay, now let's actually target let's say user image. That's going to be this avatar which is currently big. So here user img, I'm gonna set the, let's reduce the height to 80 pixels. Let's also add some margin to the right of 1 rem. Okay, it should be 1 rem. Okay, that's gonna add over here. So if the name is gonna come here, so it's gonna leave some space for that. And border radius of 50%. So let's make sure it always circle. Okay, now let's target the user, the whole user container, and for the user I'm gonna set the display of flex. Okay, there we have our name, justify content to the center, border radius of 1 rem. What border? Okay, border radius of 1 rem. Sorry, border radius, not, no, sorry, it's not going to be border radius. I need to actually set margin of 2 rem all around, padding of 1 rem all around, width of 300 pixels, align items to the center, background color of white. Okay, there we have it. And I also want the box shadow to RGBA of 149, 157, 165 and alpha value of 0.2, and also 0 pixels, 8 pixels and 24 pixels. Okay, that's it for our box shadow. Okay, there we have our slight box shadow. And now I actually need the border radius over here, border radius of 1 rem. Okay, that's looking nice. Don't worry, we are gonna show the online and offline using JavaScript. Okay, now let's actually target the h3. That's it, right? Okay, this h3, this one, and for that user info h3, margin to the bottom of 0.3 rem. Okay, now we actually need to define online and offline classes for that. So if the user info has online, everything is going to be green. If the user has offline, everything is going to be gray. So let's define that. Online, if the user info has the online, the color is going to be green, right? Let's define that. And similarly, offline, color gray. Okay, to show you exactly, we are going to add the online and offline class using JavaScript. So if the user info has let's say online, sorry, not actually, it should not be displayed. Okay, here if the user info has the online class, as you can see, everything is green. Okay, not here, sorry for this. If the user status, that's going to be this one, user status. Okay, if the user status has online class, it's gonna show everything in green. If it has offline, everything is going to be gray. So that's how it's gonna work. Okay, now for now, let's actually work on the JavaScript now. We'll work on the content section right after we finish this. Okay, now inside the JavaScript, we need to set some event listeners. So that the event listener is always gonna listen for the online and offline. Okay, here I need to window dot add event listener. The event listener which I am adding is going to be added at the window. So it's gonna listen for the online, and it's gonna call a function every time it changes. Okay, don't worry, I'm gonna define this function in a while. Similarly, I also need to set it for the offline so that it always listens. Okay, if all it's gonna always listen. Okay, if the net is disconnected or connected, it's gonna always listen and act on that. So now I need to actually define the function update status, and here I need to have access to, let's say over here. Okay, I actually need access to this status to show online or offline, and I also need access to, let's see, user status. Okay, I also need access to user status to make it green and dark, sorry, gray. Okay, so let's work on that. Okay, here const status, let's grab the element by document dot get element by id. That status, it has an id of status, right? So once we have that, okay, what's happening? Actually, I have GitHub Copilot installed. It's actually messing with my code here. Okay, const, I want the user status document dot query selector, and it has the class name of user status, right? Okay, now we have access to the status and the user status. Now let's actually work on detecting if the user is connected to the internet or disconnected. So here I will say if, actually JavaScript has an object called as navigator. I am going to access that navigator. As you can see, GitHub Copilot is actually suggesting me the entire code, which actually entire code. If you don't know what GitHub Copilot is, don't worry, I'm going to make a separate video on that, or you can already watch the video that has been already made. GitHub Copilot is a tool developed by GitHub which actually suggests you the code, right? That's pretty much amazing. So no, then more about that video on separate video. So let's work on our project. So here navigator dot online, if the navigator is having the online, if it's true, if the user is online, that's let's put it in the simple words, if the user is online, I want the status dot inner HTML to show that it's online. Okay, did I actually make any mistakes? Okay, I actually need to call that function over here. Okay, there we have our online and offline showing, right? So that's how it works. So currently I'm connected to the internet, right? So it's showing online. Okay, now I also need to work on adding the class name, right? So here I want user status. It's actually suggesting me. Okay, if the user status I already has a offline class, I want it to be removed. Okay, so here I'm gonna remove the offline class, which if it has already, and I'm gonna add the user status dot class list dot add online. As you can see, it's actually working online and offline. Okay, now let's work on the else case. If the user is not connected to the internet, I want similarly I want to do this. Okay, I want to set the inner HTML to offline, so it shows offline. And if the user status has the class of online already, or it has the class of online, sorry for, okay, online, and I want class name offline to be added. Okay, let's see what went wrong. Okay, I actually forget to add the bracket. So as you can see, currently I'm online. So if I get disconnected, as you can see, it's showing offline. And if I get connected to the internet again, it's gonna show, wait for it, online. So now let's actually work on the content part, so that whenever we are online, the content only shows whenever you are online. It doesn't show, it shows a message, please connect to the internet, when we are offline. So let's work on that. For that, let's head over to our file, and we are done with the user. Let's work on the content. And for the content, we're gonna have a paragraphs, or say lorem with 10 words. That's enough. Okay, let's copy this few more times. Okay, I think that's enough. Okay, now let's work on the styling part of the content. So for the content, I'm going to set the max width of 1200 pixels, margin 0, and auto. Okay, display of flex, justify content to the center, flex wrap or wrap. Okay, okay, that's it. Okay, now let's work on the P, that is paragraph tags, content paragraph. And for the paragraph, I'm going to set margin 0 and auto, width of 500 pixels, background color of white, margin all around 1 rem, padding all around 1 rem. Okay, now let's also border radius, actually border radius of 1 rem. Okay, now let's also set the box shadow of this one, and 0 pixels, 8 pixels, and 24 pixels. Okay, there we have our content. Okay, now we also need to define the message inside the div right of the content message. So I'm actually writing CSS inside the HTML. Okay, message. Okay, message s2, please connect to the internet. Okay, there we have our message. And for the message, okay, that's nothing for the message. Okay, now inside of our script.js file, JavaScript file, when the user is online, I want to actually show the content and I don't want to display that message, right? So here, let's I also need to grab access to those elements. So here, content document dot query selector, and I need to grab the content. Okay, once I have the content, I also want the message. Document dot query selector message. Okay, once we have access to both of those, here when the user is online, I want the content to display. Okay, it's already displayed. Okay, let's make sure so that it displays. So here I'll set that as display of flex. Okay, and I don't want to display the message, so here I will say message.style.display to none, so that message doesn't display, so it's just gone now. Okay, now once we are done with the online part, we actually need to work on the offline. So what should happen when the user is offline? The content should not display and it should display the error message. Okay, here content dot style dot display none. I don't want to display the content, so none. Okay, it's not gonna work now. Okay, let's also make sure we set the message style to display of block, so that it displays the message. So when I disconnect from the internet, as you can see, please connect to the internet. When I connect to the internet, wait for it. Okay, that's how that's how it's built, guys. So guys, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed and hope you guys learned something from this video. Make sure you'll hit the like button on this video, and make sure you also subscribe to my channel for more videos like these, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.